you know, you may, and then you'll come back and you say, ah, shit, I just couldn't, I need more than 7 seconds, all right, to get, you know, used to the idea. You know, I'm just saying that, yeah, we could come up with a bunch of scenarios where sometimes you're going to rely on an instinct, you know, intuition, and then sometimes, but always, it's always best to do the calculations, to do the research, and then try to make the most intelligent decision possible. But we can't live that way. I mean, obviously, I can't decide when I'm deciding to get out of bed in the morning. Oh, let's see, let's do the math. If I sleep for 10 more minutes, well, this, you know, I could waste 10 minutes just calculating whether I should get up this 10 minutes or whether I should wait 10 more minutes to get up. I mean, we could calculate everything to pieces, and we can't live that way. But obviously these important subjects, like the destiny of the human race, well, yeah, we should do lots of calculating. Google the hell out of it.
Don't Google it. That'll support Google.
As a metaphor.
Well, I like a certain calculation that some famous philosopher came up with, and it's called never treat somebody as a means to an end. Never treat another person as a means to an end. I really like that. It's like everybody has this free kind of life, and never treat that as something for your own ends. I like that as a universal kind of moral.
Well, what the fuck? This doesn't mean anything. A means to what? To your end, or to the betterment of humankind? I mean, what the hell is that? I mean, in theory, that sounds really nice, but like I said, in practice, as much as I oppose animal experimentation, if all they had to do was experiment on one animal, he would be the means to our end, and he would be tortured. But yes, it cures cancer. Fuck. Yeah, you're torturing the fucking animal. I mean, there's no fucking never treat something as a means to an end. Well, fuck that. If the end is worth it, then god damn it, yes. But yeah, if you're just talking about your own self-interest, well then, yeah, who cares? Of course. You can't sacrifice somebody else's welfare for your welfare.
Well, not necessarily another animal, just another will that is like an even match of yours, like another human being. You don't use other human beings as a mean to an end. You can treat a cow as a means to an end, I guess. That's fine.
Why is that okay?
But not another human being.
Yeah, whatever. I don't see any point in that. I just don't. It's not. There's no logic base here at all. It has nothing to do with final outcomes. It has nothing to do with the eventual calculation. So what the fuck does it mean? Does it mean a goddamn fucking thing? Because there's lots of times when it's appropriate to make this decision to compromise somebody else in the interest of some better accomplishment. But as again, if you're going to narrow it to, you know, there's a hamburger over there and there's a person in my way, so I'm going to hit him with a sledgehammer to get my hamburger. Well, of course that doesn't make any sense. But to undefine it, to put no parameters that made more explicit about what the fuck you're talking about, these kind of cliches are so destructive to conversation and philosophy. I mean, they're out there all over the place. I think, therefore I am. That doesn't mean a goddamn fucking thing.
Sure it does. Do you actually know the context?
Well, maybe.
Yeah, I do, and I just saying it means absolutely fucking nothing, because the only thing that makes you something is your feelings, you dumbass. Thinking is irrelevant. If there was no feeling in the universe, there would be no reason to think. There would be no amming.
Without their consent. I mean, it's about consent. It's like somebody, like you go to work and like that boss.
Yeah, well, that's just a social contract, and that only has to do with, again, the social contract is just some kind of, it's bullshit compared to some real practical end. Again, just narrow it. Are you talking about gaining your personal satisfaction at the expense of somebody else? Are you talking about, I throw a guy through a window and crush him on the road and 10 million people are saved. Which fucking thing are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about like a simple, like a work relation, like a boss saying, I'm going to treat you as a means to an end to get this work done for me. I'm going to make more money than you're going to make, but you're not a slave because you consented to it. We sign a contract or something, and that's how modern society works or something. That's what I'm kind of talking about. Slavery was bad because it was using human beings as a means to an end in an absolute sense, like they were fucking cows, like a farm equipment, and that was wrong. And that's all.
Well, it was wrong because it was forcing all the price on too few. I mean, and by an unfair standard. But again, yeah, it's wrong, but we can't ignore the practical fact that through slavery we gained progress more quickly, and through progress we cured polio 15 years or sooner, or we did something else through that progress. So you can't argue. There's also the counter argument that says, yes, but this is the dilemma of life, that life throws you in this horrible dilemma where it can at times be perfectly appropriate, perfectly sensible in the long-term interest to completely fuck over some individuals, because you can make so much productivity gains for the majority of people through them being fucked. But that's the dilemma of this stupid life circumstance. I mean, that's how insidious this stupid ass dumbass game is that's the economics. It is sometimes appropriate to squash a kitten, to you know, or a baby, or whatever the thing would be, whatever the precious thing is. Gotta close your mic, neon freak, please. Thank you.
Formica, your mic's muted.
I like them better that way.
No, I was saying, like, you're a utilitarian, so your argument is slavery was justified. We can crush people over hundreds of years so we can acquire a mass amount of wealth so we can cure a certain disease. Is that what your argument is?
No, I've made this argument 5,000 times. I've never justified slavery. I said it was too high a price to pay. So even though it was more productive in the end result, the price was too fucking high. So if we have to pay that price, then it's not worth saving the game. It's not worth playing the game. That was my fucking argument. But yes, from a utilitarian point of view, as I have just said it quite explicitly, sometimes it is okay to squash the few in the best interest of the many. And it was just completely illogical if you know that's the end result. If you know that's the end result, okay? If you know absolutely for sure the world will be better off, much better off, without Adolf Hitler, and I put you at dinner with Adolf Hitler and you do not kill him, you are an asshole.
Yeah, but that's the problem with the utilitarian argument as an absolute way to argue morality, is it has certain circumstances that come out really, really bad. I mean, sometimes you have to freaking do things because they're right in and of themselves.
But there's never right. It is never right to squander suffering. So it's a stupid argument. It's never right to waste or to do something inefficient on purpose. So if you know Okay, if you know the absolute truth is that more people will be better off, that the net equation will be less discomfort, more suffering prevented, then yes, you have to pay the minor cost. Even if the minor cost is horribly rotten and lousy, it requires you to commit a crime against individuals that is heinous. Yeah, you can't ignore the truth of it. The truth is that the total weight of sentient experience, okay, that's all that does matter. The end is everything. The total at the end of the game is the only total that matters. Okay, this individual game playing is irrelevant to the big picture, which is how did the whole fucking thing, how much gas did the engine consume, and how much movement did it produce?
The problem with the utilitarianism is, what do you measure by?
And I would say that we should learn what we have measured it by, and we should say we've learned from the experience that slavery is wrong in the sense that it is the gain really that much of a value? Have we learned that? Are we going to relapse into slavery again if we don't have the means to?
Well, we're already in a practical slavery anyway. Okay, I mean, each American worker owes the federal government $200,000 it doesn't have, so it's already involuntary servitude anyway. You know, we're enslaving the Chinese for certain. We're exploiting their desperation as about as harshly as can be done. So that's the real game anyway. And yeah, but that's what the point is the game can't be played. There's no way to play this game, because the fact of the matter is that the only way to get to the future quicker, and if the future is more efficient, you know, like I say, you do have polio vaccines or a cure for AIDS or some other kind of thing that will be accomplished through that expenditure. Yeah, that's the economics of it. You can't deny the economics. But I'm not defending it. I'm not saying that those are choices we should make. What I'm saying is this is the dilemma we're going to be stuck with. If this is the shitty circumstances we exist in, then fuck it. It's a stupid game.
Well, I'm not, like, slavery maybe should be something that evolved into a contract. Like, I'm going to be a slave for you, but you're going to pay me a certain amount, you're going to give me a certain, like, it's the whole freaking Marxist fucking whatever.
Well, I'm just saying, in some respects, slaves were better off. Look, I mean, if you paid, you know, workers aren't getting, you know, in China, an employer doesn't have to pay, okay, to import his slave, his worker. He doesn't have to pay medical. He doesn't have to do any of that stuff. If you have to invest in a slave, you have to pay to bring him all the way over from Africa, okay? Well, then you're probably going to take care of it so it doesn't die, okay? The way it exists now, those people in China are less valuable than slaves, okay? Yes, maybe they can't be whipped. Maybe they can't be treated with quite the indignities, okay, that slaves were treated. But as a practical matter, the employers have even less reason to keep them alive than slave owners had, because they're infinitely replaceable. Oh, you cut your hand off in the machine? Well, too fucking bad, because that guy's got two hands and he wants your job.
Well, I don't know. That's a whole argument between plantation and, like, modern, like, slavery. I guess that's fine. And slavery still exists. I would make that argument. It's like disguised now more, like under capitalism. Capitalism requires slavery somewhere in the world, and that's the real problem. How do we solve that dilemma of, you know, I have my laptop computer that's been made very cheaply by slaves, basically, and I'm living large here, how